On today's merger, we are talking about Survivor 50, Episode 8. I'm Ethan.
And I'm Claude, and this is Drop Your Kiwis. So, we had a bit of a break last week.
We
That's
did.
because we were actually together last week, went down to
Yes.
Wellington, watched the episode together, thought it would be a bit weird to talk about the episode after talking to each other during the episode. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. Maybe next time we're in person, we could just set up that we're watching it and we're just podcasting it as we're watching it.
Could do, yeah.
But
That could work pretty well.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't get the capabilities to do that, so we kind of just skipped it. We did talk about it though, and there was some ramifications that kind of came from it, like the winner's gone. No more winners.
Yeah.
And
pretty
we've got
big.
a jury.
Yeah, we've got a jury now. It's finally started. Everyone who's still in the game is going to be in the game until the end in some form.
Yeah, sticking around.
Unless they get medevaced. But let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Or it's just a snake bite that we know is kind of fake. But
yeah,
some ramifications from her getting voted out though was that Tiffany wasn't really involved, or to our best understanding, Tiffany wasn't really involved in the decision, and she's got this spirit of I want to say things, but I have to keep quiet, which is the essence of Survivor, basically. You're playing everyone all the time. It's musical chairs, so yeah, you can't like make yourself the biggest chair, so you got to stay quiet and try to do what Coach did do but didn't successfully do this episode.
Oh man, the way he started off this episode being like, I am the ultimate shield.
Yeah, that was it was wild. He's like leaning into it, but I think he just felt that he has all this power, and he didn't really see the writing on the wall that we kind of found out when we were looking at the merge episode and aligning these two sides. It's like Coach's side is weak, and we see that when Aussie we see that Aussie is playing both sides still, and but just ready to cut his neck, all because of the first challenge, which I'm still on Coach's side about, but it's perception is reality. Like, if Aussie perceives this to be an audacious thing, it's now an audacious thing, even if it isn't in my eyes. It is to him. It's going to affect the way he's thinking. And it's just like these levels of thinking that, I don't know, his coach isn't even getting to or can't see, or when you're at the top, it's just so great.
I think Coach was in the right on that first challenge, and he just let it go to his head so much that he was in the right and nobody else could have any other opinion. And then he got very offended when Aussie had another opinion. I think that's what it boiled down to, right?
That's his game. This season.
Coach just can't see past his own ego.
Nah. It was the same when Dee hit him up for a lie that he did, and now she's on the jury. And he said it was because she was targeting him, and it's like, you're making these stories up, my dude. I love the individuality of Coach, and he's right that there's no one else like him, and he should continue to be himself. I just don't think he's ever going to be able to win Survivor.
I can't believe he almost won one time. Watching this episode, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, how did Coach almost win Survivor once?
He successfully manipulated like a lot of people into thinking that a religion is one, apart from one person, the person that beat him.
The Coach cult.
The Coach cult. Man. But this season, there's no one's going to listen to that because we've all watched how religion works on Survivor. So, yeah. Yeah, you're right about the ego comment, though. He just can't see past it, and it's such a hindrance to his game.
Yeah.
But yeah, thoughts on Tiffany feeling on the outs?
I mean, she is on the outs, so she's a good read.
Yeah, she's been on the outs for a while, too. Yeah. It's funny how the situation between her and Aubrey have kind of flipped now.
I know. They're just, I mean, they did vote together this episode, I guess, but I mean, I
Yeah,
think Tiffany's been playing it well in the sense that 2 episodes in a row she's had her one of her number ones voted out, and I think she's played it off very well both times. Like she's obviously been very mad about it,
yeah,
but she hasn't expressed that, and I think um you can see that when you have people coming up to her at the start of this episode, like Ozzy and then I guess Coach, and like wanting to mend things with her.
yeah. And even Joe later in the episode.
Yeah, yep,
Like, yeah,
yeah,
she's got away with it. And if she can, because the way to get them back is to vote them out, and you know,
exactly,
them
yeah,
see how you really feel when they're watching it on television.
yeah,
That's the ultimate vindication. But um, yeah, so she's playing a good game in the fact, but she's playing from the bottom, which
yeah,
can hurt her. Obviously hurts her game in the interim, but if she can make it through, she can find these cracks. Um, then she has a story at no least, and she's got the first jury member on her side.
yep, exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
But no, I think she's doing well, all things considered.
yeah.
Mm.
What did you
Well,
think of Stephanie's 7 that she told the camera?
so who was all on the 7?
So it was all that we've got in Alliance 1, the honor and integrity, Stephanie herself, Joe, Coach, Chrissy, and Jonathan, and then she ropes in Sari and Ozzy, probably
Ah,
because of the
yes,
early game and the fact that Siri kind of called her bluff and brought her in, and that she knows that Siri and Ozzy are working together. So it's funny that she didn't include Rizzo, even though he was kind of part of the 4. But when you look back on that 4, which is really 5, because Rizzo was the 5th in a
yep,
4, these two are kind of the furthest apart, right?
yeah, I think so. Mm.
Yeah. So those 7.
Yeah, I think that right now there's what 13 people left, so you need a majority of 7. Um, and I think those were the 7 that, like looking at the people on the other side, those are the 7 that is probably best for her game. I don't think that it was an actual tight 7 alliance, which is what we saw later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't think too much into it because you already know that Ozzy and Siri have their little side things going on, and now we see Joe also does.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's Stephanie is kind of turning into a person that you bring to the end because she kind of hasn't done anything in her game.
I think right now she's just kind of a number.
Yeah.
I think she hasn't necessarily played badly, but
No, she's played under the
yeah,
radar. Um,
yeah, exactly.
so like if she does link up with sort of Sari and thing now, she can't go to the end with them. So she's going to have to use and then move on pretty quickly. I don't know. It's just looking like a hard trip to the end with her.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
Like she's going to have to go with Joe and Emily or something like that to kind of
Yeah,
have a kind of case.
yeah. I mean, there's a few people I think should be able to beat. I think Joe, maybe even Jonathan, maybe Emily, maybe Aubrey, um, Rizzo, maybe.
Yeah,
Anyone else, I don't see her beating. But
yeah,
I
Devin
mean, it's still so
sufficient.
early,
Yeah,
so yeah,
no, no. I Yeah, I'm just loving the OGs coming back. So
I
I'm
know.
just biting off the every word at the moment, and yeah, Stephanie's at least gone way longer than she did in Heroes Villains, which is cool.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and I mean, even longer than she did in Palau, so
True.
she's
Yeah.
doing well. Well, actually, I
Yeah.
don't know. About this point in
Yeah.
Palau.
She kind of got out. Yeah, she was on the jury, but very early.
Yeah, I think she was a second jury member.
Yeah. So she's passed. She's just passed it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Do
Mm.
you want to get to these couple ups and this note?
Yep, yep. Let's do that.
When I saw the boat approaching, I was just like, if history stands for anything, we should not get on this boat. And then a few people put their hand in the basket. It was obviously Sari who got it, and
Yep.
who else?
Chrissy, Devons, I think were the three. I don't
Nice.
know if there's anyone
Yeah. Was
else,
there
but
four? Yeah, I can't remember.
I mean, you always want to be. I feel like in this case, you always want to be the odd one out.
Right. What tells you that?
Well, I feel like every time they have some sort of twist and there's someone on the outs, like for the challenge, either it's going to be you're safe, or we see a lot in like the reward challenges and stuff when they're split into two tribes and there's someone on the outs, usually they'll get to like pick the side. So either you're just safe in general or you'll have some choice later on.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know that. And when Suri was the one to pick the die, I'm like, oh no, Suri's going to be screwed by some twist again.
Yeah.
I was convinced that was going to happen. I'm glad it
Yeah, because
didn't.
if every single time someone's gone on the boat, Savannah, Colby, we've lost them. Q.
Yeah,
So it's like, don't go. Apart from Aussie and Rizzo's trip, which
yeah,
was the last time. So
yeah.
um, no, it was. What did you think about Joe picking up the format of we just kind of vibed it out? I think he said or something like that.
Well, I think he kind of had to because he was asked by somebody what they did on 48 because they'd all just watched 48, right? And there was that whole big scene with them picking duos in there. And I think somebody, I can't remember who asked him, but somebody there must have been like, I want it to be that way. I want to pick who I'm with. So they just brought it up, and they brought it up in a way that made it seem like Joe was the one deciding it, which I thought was smart, even though I can't even remember who it was. But
Yeah.
I think it worked out well for the
Yeah.
most part for them. There didn't seem to be any like arguments or bad blood and confessionals or anything. So
No,
yeah.
apart from Rizzo just asking across the camp, do you have anyone?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, our peers were Jonathan Christian, Stephanie, Ozzy, Rizzo with Emily, Coach and Chrissy, Tiffany, Joe, Rick, and Aubrey, and then Sri on
Yeah.
their lonesome. What do you do here? Do
Yeah.
you pick the person that you're aligned with, or do you pick someone across lined with?
I mean, in hindsight, knowing what the challenge is, which obviously they didn't, you pick someone that you're not aligned with, right? Because obviously it worked perfectly for Christian and Jonathan.
Yeah,
Um, Coming into that, I probably would pick someone I'm aligned with, but I feel like the best play always is to just try and get somebody who you think will be best at the challenge and who you think you'll work well with.
which I think was what Stephanie did when she picked Aussie straight
Yeah,
away.
yeah,
She was
I
just
think
like,
so too.
we're gonna win, and that's why.
Yeah, and they almost did.
Funny that Joe got paired with Tiff, even though in the edit he was the one that wanted to get rid of her or get
Yeah,
putting her name out there,
I
which I'm
know,
sure
yeah.
is a bit of an editing trick, but um, yeah,
And it worked out well for them.
it did. It
And I think
did.
even if they didn't win immunity, they still would have been safe, I reckon. I don't
Protected.
think they would have really been targeted.
Nah, I mean, once they learnt the thing, the two enticing people were the people who are aligned because you get the two for the price of one.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Um, what were your thoughts on, well, first Ozzy confronting Tiffany the morning after the vote and saying, "I'm sorry, I voted for you. I had to vote for you, but I want to work with you from now."
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, Ozzy's just trying to play the middle. He's trying to do what Suri is doing. So I think he's just trying to placate to everyone. It's better than ignoring them and then telling them when
Yeah.
you need them, which I think
It's better than
with like
doing what Coach did.
yeah, definitely. Well, Coach didn't
Oh
even really
man.
apologize. At least Ozzy was like actually seemed to be sincere
Yeah. Yeah,
and
exactly. Yeah.
like understands that it's a new format of the game and that your enemy 1 minute has to be, the voting blocks that we saw on
Mm,
Second Chances that have kind of become what this new Survivor is, where you don't entirely have to use everyone. So I think he approached it fine. Yeah.
yeah, I think he did it really well. I think he couldn't really have done it any better. I mean, you saw Tiffany in her confessional afterwards. She was like, out of the four people that voted for me, Ozzy's the only one that's come up to me and he seemed genuinely sincere and I could see myself working with him again.
Well, that's the thing. Being the
Mhm.
first will
Yeah,
speak volumes to the person because it's just
exactly.
like
Yeah,
you didn't have to do that. You're now hurting your game by
yeah,
aligning
exactly.
yourself with me. So yeah, the fact that he was the first probably spoke numbers to her
Yeah,
and helped a lot. But the way he said it and the way he approached everything was good. I like
yeah.
Oscar's approach.
I genuinely think he's playing an amazing game.
He is, yeah,
He's playing so well. Like this
yeah,
is, I think this is easily the best game he's played so far of
definitely
all his appearances.
because like he's thinking of it beyond just I'm going to win every immunity challenge.
Yeah,
Um, or this other person is doing much more better than me, but I'm just going to take a back seat. Even like Sari is maybe playing a better game, but they need each other, and it's much
yep,
more of a um, Tyson Jervis kind of duo than it is a Yule Aussie.
yep, yeah.
Yeah. No, I like
Um,
it. He's
yeah,
going good. You go good with the winner pick there.
I
We'll
know.
we'll see if my Riz code can beat you, but not this episode.
Oh man, I don't see Rizzo winning the whole thing, eh? I don't. I see him getting to the end, but I don't see
I
the
don't
jury
think.
voting for him.
Yeah, I don't think the jury are going to vote for him. I think they think he's funny and comical and like great comic relief, but
Yeah,
they see him as like too young of a kid to kind of get it. And of all these other people who have other chances, I don't see him going to the end with people apart from Emily and Joe, maybe if that's his end game, or Joe and Tiff. Like he can't go with any of the returning people from the 30s and the OGs because they've just
yeah,
got more stories. And you've seen how like healing old wounds has been a theme of this season. They keep bringing it up that it's been a very reflective, and they're fine with the way they go out.
mm,
I think they're going to want to give a winner to someone who's been waiting for this moment for a long time, or at least that'll be like in consideration.
yeah. I guess so. Yeah,
Obviously, it all depends on like how he plays his idol and does he burn Sari and Aussie, and in the eyes of the general public and the jury, is it Sari, Aussie, or Rizzo who have seemed to be the best game? But everyone seems to love Sari. Like they talk about her very highly.
yeah. That's crazy. It's crazy how she's still in the game and not a threat right now.
Not she's yeah, she's not a threat to anyone, and she's dominating it in the edit. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
I know. It's pretty nuts.
yeah. No, it's going
Yeah.
to be interesting. I mean, my faith will never waver, but it may have may have wavered a little bit. Very
Did
hypocritical of
you
me.
like it when Coach talked to Tiffany and he said it wasn't me pushing your name, and then Tiffany said, "Who pushed for my name then?" And Coach just went completely silent and did not say a word.
I think silence spoke volumes, and it's hilarious that
Oh,
Tiff did exactly uh, what Dee did, and it burnt him the exact same way. It's just like he has to put his foot in his mouth,
I
and
know.
just the way he
So
approaches
dumb.
it, especially from the yeah, especially from seeing Aussie and his like calm approach to it, to this like kind of
Yeah.
tirade and madman kind of king. It
It's like
was
he doesn't plan ahead. It's like he goes into this conversation knowing that he's going to say this thing and doesn't prepare for anything that Tiff might say.
yeah.
It's crazy. It's
It's like
actually insane.
it's like of course he's going to have a response.
Yeah,
She's
I
going to want to
know.
know the answers to all these questions. Just complete silence, shut down.
Oh man, it's actually crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah. Is there
Dirt.
anything else you want to talk about pre-challenge?
No, I don't think so. No. Um, I thought it was funny when how Christian described Jonathan talking like when a giant comes and tells you you're going to be on a team, you're going to be on their
Yeah.
team. But no,
Bro
they were such a
Chachos are back.
the Chacho. He's good with the names. He's good with the quips.
Yep, he is. Mhm.
Man, Survivor loves the the threes when it comes to catchphrases, eh? Because of Jeff's speech about the double the things. I forgot what he said, but basically we get double duo.
Double
Or
duo. Man, what was your reaction when Jeff announced this twist?
I actually kind of liked it.
I really liked it. I
It was
really, really like this twist.
yeah,
When he announced it, I'm like, all right, this is actually not only a really like exciting sounding twist, but it's also actually a big twist. Like the last big twist, the Blood Moon, that wasn't really a big twist. That was just like speeding up the game a little bit. This is actually a big twist, and it's actually changing how
yeah.
like the game's working for a tribal.
100% because they're all
I loved
together.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it was so good. If Blood Moon was all together and it was one after the other, with no
yeah,
time, that would have been a
yeah,
different story. But the fact that they just had a merge and then split up and then like immediately after voted three people off, it's just like we said that episode, it was just another tribe swap.
yeah.
It wasn't. Yeah. It, it
Exactly.
wasn't as
Yeah.
memorable. This one will be so much more
This
memorable.
will be way more memorable, and I reckon they do it again, and it will be successful every time because
Yeah.
it's the kind of thing as well where the players aren't going to be mad. They can't be as mad at it because it's not down to luck like the last one was. Everything is decided. They decided their peers.
Yeah.
They decided who wasn't in a pair. Nothing came down to rock draws.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's something as well that made it a lot more
Yeah.
likable.
Yeah. It was their own choice.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I really liked it. I had so many questions, which I'm glad that they answered about like idols and shot in the darks and stuff like that. It's a very cool twist. It basically it buffs your idols, buffs your
I know.
shot in the
Exactly.
darks. Um,
Yeah, that's what I was
to
thinking too.
yeah,
It makes them so
uh,
much more powerful for this one tribal. Like if you're going to be playing your idol, this is the time to do it.
yeah. And if you're going to be playing your shot in the dark, it's like, well, I don't know, because it could have come down to a vote, and then that would have been a problem. But
Yeah,
um, yeah, it's still cool that it doesn't like make it null and void or something like that.
yeah,
I thought it was really well designed. I kudos to this twist for sure. I
yeah,
think this is a fun one and a cool way to whittle it down because we know that they've had to do we were expecting this kind of stuff that
yeah.
happened.
We
Like
need these double tribals.
yeah, so we can
Yeah,
kind of get to like a final like 8 or 7 that we can kind of see off every time because
yeah,
we're at episode 8 now. This is like past halfway now, so got to speed it up.
yeah. Well, how many are we left to? Are we with now? We've got 11 people left.
Yes, yeah, 11
Hmm.
people with assumably a 5 or 3 probably.
Yeah,
So yeah, not
8 more
many.
eliminations.
Yeah,
Yeah, still quite a lot.
that is quite a lot. We might get double duo, and there's 4 people. God, nah.
We'll get the why is it called double duo? I don't like that. They could have done double something or something duo. I feel like the name of the twist was pretty bad, but everything
Yeah,
else was I loved.
it's good because
Everything apart from the name of the twist I liked.
duo is double.
Yeah, I know.
So
Double
it's
duo,
just
that means 4. There's no
it's-
4s in this.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, but yeah, it was cool. I liked it. It was a
Yeah.
cool little tether to the game. And, yeah, I wonder. Hopefully, we'll see it again in the future. I think it will be successful, like you said. Like
I think so, yeah.
if there's autonomy in it, if it kind of comes down to rock draws,
Yeah.
and they can do things different to this. They can make all yeah. The two have to go into fire making or something like that, or
Yeah, exactly. They don't have to turn it into a double elimination.
yeah, but you
They
can
could
like
just have it a single elimination, but with some extra twist on top of the twist.
you can only vote for these two or something like that. Yeah. What did you think about them splitting the immunity challenge into 2?
I don't mind it. I mean, I feel like it doesn't really change too much because the people getting to the end first anyway,
Yeah.
even if they didn't split into 2, they'd have a head start regardless. So,
Yeah, I guess
yeah.
it just stops momentum, but I guess it tightens the race like
Gives less people to
further.
focus on at the end
Yeah.
in terms of like
Camera
screen time. So I
positions
don't
and
mind
stuff.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. What did you think about this challenge with the basketball and then the planks of wood?
I found it hilarious that coach just couldn't get the ball in the net. It's
And
pretty funny.
we find out he's always been bad at basketball, even though I'm pretty sure he said the opposite in a
Yeah.
previous. Yeah,
Yep. Um, but yeah, no, I didn't mind the challenge. I think it was a good challenge for the most part. I like the challenges where you have to work together.
yeah.
Um, yeah, no, I liked it. Wasn't didn't don't have too many thoughts about it,
Did you
but
think Christian threw it? I know that they said at the end of the episode that they were fascinated by everyone's effort, but maybe it was the editing. But I thought that Christian was like trying to work slower so that Rick and Aubrey could have a better chance of getting to the end.
I don't think so.
You
I
think he
think,
would have?
yeah, I think the result was still better for him that they did get to the end, but I don't think he was throwing it.
Right. Okay. It's my pessimistic mind just coming through.
I think he's smart enough to not
Not do it.
throw in a tribal as like important as this, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
it
yeah.
would be insane, but yeah. Much more to
Yeah.
say about the challenge.
No.
Joe and Tiff win.
Yeah, they did pretty
Uh,
well.
Joe
They made a
Joe
good
loves
duo.
Joe loves his celebrations after winning
Yeah.
at Tribal. He loves his hugs. He's
Yeah.
such a dad.
I know, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
great. It's funny. You get flashbacks, and then we'll get to it, but we're gonna
Yep.
go to Excel first.
Oh, Exile. Far out. 2,000 coconuts.
Yeah, that was great set dressing when you opened it, and it was just a
Yeah.
beach full of coconuts. 2,000 is great. If they only went
There's
to
a
like 200.
crazy number of coconuts.
Yeah, I love it that they did show you how long it's going to be and the time it just says the sand is going to. So you just have to work. You don't know if it's going to be an hour or 45 minutes. I
Yep.
guess you've got to really know. Yeah, you probably lose all sense of time when you're out there anyway. So it
Yeah.
doesn't really
And you don't
matter.
know
You just
how
got to
long it's
keep.
going to take, too, because
No.
it could be one of the first ones you find. It could be one of the last ones you find.
What did you think of her approach to go? I'm going to look right at the start and move around rather than running all the way further and then kind of moving her way backwards. I was like, there's
Um,
no way that they're going to put the first one right next to the plinth because so, but maybe that's me just seeing where it is at the start anyway. So
yeah, I don't know. I didn't really think too much about the approach. I mean,
I thought, yeah,
I feel like as long as you have some sort of system and you're not going to miss any, I feel
yeah,
like it's a good approach. So it looks like that's what she was doing.
yeah. I guess you do waste less energy if you just start where you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was, yeah,
Starting on one side, I think could work too, because after you check a coconut, you could throw it behind you, and then you know you've checked that coconut. You don't accidentally check it a second time. But
yeah.
yeah,
We started to
obviously she
see her,
did well.
yeah, we started to see her fling some things, but yeah, she found it though.
Yep. Yeah.
It was cool
Yeah.
that she could come back, and she basically had like immunity without the necklace.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
And she still kind of had to do a challenge for her immunity. They
Yeah,
let her bring the coconut back. That coconut was basically her immunity idol.
right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
true. I thought she was going to bring it back and tell a story and use it as like some other way, but then when she told the truth, I was like, that's actually probably better.
Yeah.
Last thing you
Exactly.
need is another lie when you're trying to build trust.
I mean, she doesn't need to lie in this situation. She
No,
doesn't have any extra thing. She just has her vote, which everyone will see anyway when she goes to vote. So
yeah,
no point in lying.
yeah,
But yeah.
that was nice. That was a
Um,
cool little twist. Crazy
yeah.
challenge, and you would be so tired after I don't know how many days they're in now, but yeah. So Tiff and Joe get spaghetti. Was that right?
I don't even
And
know. I
spaghetti and
can't even remember
tiramisu, I think.
what the reward was. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just their food at camp, the low budget rewards.
Yeah.
After spending years going on like exotic trips and stuff like that.
Yeah, they spent all their budget on Zach Brown.
Yeah, Zach Brown and Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish, yeah.
But
Yeah, so yeah. I mean, they had a pretty interesting conversation about Joe was actually surprised me by basically being like, I want to work with you going forward.
Yeah, pledging his
Which,
allegiance, really.
yeah,
I will never write your name down, he said.
and he was
And
pretty quick to jump ship from coach and stuff, basically.
yeah, but maybe he saw the writing on the wall, even though he also said in the same afternoon that he's not going to write down coach on principle.
Well, he said that during tribal. He whispered to Tiff, he's like, I still can't write down coach's name, and then he did write down coach's name. So
Oh, he did write down it.
yeah, he did.
Ah, I
The
didn't see
only
that.
I think the only people, so coach didn't vote. Chrissy voted for Rizzo and Emily, and Jonathan voted for Rick and Aubrey.
Ah,
Yeah, so it's just Jonathan's the only one
on the bottom.
left now that didn't vote for um the two that went home.
Crazy.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Original Carlo getting decimated.
Yeah, so I can see Jonathan being on the bottom now, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. So they have passed to their thing and he pledges allegiance to them.
Yep,
Tiffany believes it, do you reckon?
I think so.
Yeah, especially
Um,
after this vote here. But and then if he did listen to Tiffany and said it that he's gone against his word,
he
voted him
has,
out. But you got to see the writing on the wall. Colby's not there anymore. Genevieve's not there anymore. Like, if you're not playing another game, you're going to be on the jury. You're not trying to apologize for the wrongdoings of your past and move on
I think the
with
only
some
person who
people
actually cares about all that is
as coach.
Coach and
Yeah,
to a degree Jonathan, but I don't think
yeah.
he really does. So
Who,
yeah,
Joe? Yeah, he's just mad at Rick for having an argument with him a few days ago.
yeah. I mean, he knows that him and Rick aren't going to be able to work together. I think that's more the reason he wanted Rick and Aubrey gone instead of coaching Chrissy.
Yeah,
But I think he was smart enough to see the writing on the wall and deciding to vote that way last minute.
yeah. Well, we've
So
got
yeah,
a new peer, which is nice.
it is nice. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Chrissy confronting Coach and just be like, stay in the hammock, don't talk?
Yeah, I guess on hindsight, them leaving, maybe if he said anything or worked his magic, then maybe he could have changed something. But I don't think him going around and speaking, especially the way he's been speaking to people, would have helped their game at all. So I think it was a correct move on their part to just do it. He also says
Yeah.
one of my favorite quotes of the season, and probably of any coaches. I could whisper a
Yeah.
haiku, and no
And
one
no
would
one would
know.
know.
No, I think I'm gonna get that
That was
printed.
hilarious.
I'm gonna get that printed on a T-shirt. I think that is a great one.
I could always whisper a haiku and no one would know. It just like it goes to show how long he was doing those haikus for.
Yeah,
Everyone must have known about them. It must have just like become his thing, which is hilarious.
the poetry.
I know.
I didn't
Yeah.
fact check every haiku, but I have seen that I don't think all of them follow the syllable count that you're supposed to. But
No, I don't. I doubt it. But yeah, a
especially,
coach haiku. It's his own type of haiku.
yeah, I could also
Yeah.
whisper a haiku and no one would know. Oh my god, I laughed at the TV.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Oh, he'll be
Um,
sorely missed.
he will
Um,
be. I'm excited for final tribal where he gets to say something again.
he's good, yeah.
But yeah.
But
Um,
what did you think about the two options that the edit posed were just alignments? Like, that was pretty much obvious, right? Once we learnt the twist, it was like you
yeah.
kind of have to get out the people who are aligned because it's a
Yep,
double duo.
exactly. Yeah, two for the price of one.
Two for the price.
You
That's see,
can't get
that's
you
a
can't
better
get rid of two people that
that's a better name for the thing.
yeah, that's a good name for it. You can't you can get rid of two people that are opposite aligned, but then you've got people mad at you from both sides.
Yeah, so it doesn't
So
make
this is the
sense.
tribe where we basically just have to draw the line in the sand and say, I'm not working with this alliance. So I might
Mm,
as well get rid of two people from that alliance.
yeah.
Which is why I think Christian and Jonathan were always going to be safe.
Yeah, and to a lesser extent, Emily and Rizzo, just
Yeah,
protected by
no. I guess
the
so, but they were still a target. They were
they
still a
were
target from that honor integrity because neither of them are in that alliance.
yeah, but Rick was never going to vote for Emily. Christian was
I
never
know,
going to
yeah,
vote for Emily, and
yeah,
Ozzy and Suri are never going to vote for Rizzo. So I think they
yeah,
were kind of protected
yeah.
from that other side, the side we haven't seen, the rift we haven't seen in the original Orange tribe, which is probably going to run the end game of this.
Who's the original Orange Tribe?
It's Suri, Rick, Emily, and Ozzy,
Ah, yeah,
and Christian,
yeah.
and
Nah,
then
yeah.
Joe.
They have survived for so long.
They're all still in the game.
Crazy, eh?
Yeah, yeah. We've only
Mm,
got 3 of the other one and 2 of the other one, so
yeah.
it's a pretty
What What were your thoughts on Aussie initially being like, we're gonna get rid of um Aubrey and Rick. I think that's what Ceri's going to want. Um, we're going to do that, and then Ceri comes back, and Ceri's like, "I want Coach and Chrissy gone," and Ozzy's like, "Thank God Ceri came back. I was about to make the wrong decision. She knows what to do." It's like he just like he knows that Ceri is better at making decisions than him, and it's hilarious to watch because he views it as the right decision. That there isn't like the other decision would have been the wrong play,
yeah.
which is so funny to watch.
I think it speaks volume to how he values Suri.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if the end game is him and Suri, he's going to lose. So he has to see that from perspective, especially when he's not driving these kind of votes. He's
Yeah,
still like having autonomy, being like, oh, I know that I'm not the best at this, and if he plays that up, then maybe. But the fact that he's like going on and becking like on her every call is, even though it is the correct one, why would you get rid of Rick? He is part of the original like tribe we've got, and we can always get rid of Rick.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I thought it was funny because I could have saw it both ways. I kind of didn't believe that this might bite them in the ass. I'm not too sure, but
Yeah, I didn't think there was a right way to go. I think either way it would have been good for them.
yeah,
But yeah.
I think
I, I
Ozzy
guess
was
Ceri's got
just
the trust with Rick.
yeah. Um, yeah, I guess he was waiting to get coach out at the opportune moment, and he wasn't ready to cut that tie yet. Because I guess a little bit of him probably still wanted to play with coach, or saw value in him keeping him there because he could have been a target in the future. But
Yeah,
I guess it's just like when Suri comes back and says, "No, we can get 2 of these original people out that aren't on our like on it. Like we're not on our own integrity." So,
yeah, yeah. Like
uh,
even though they are on right now on the side of Coach and Chrissy, they know they're not high up. They're not highly valued in that
no,
alliance.
they'd be giving more power to Jonathan, which is I don't think
Yeah,
they want to give Jonathan any power.
exactly. Yeah, Jonathan and Joe and even Rizzo kind of
Yeah,
apparently, and Stephanie as well. Obviously,
yeah,
yeah. So yeah,
yeah,
there were people much higher than them on the totem pole on that side. So
yeah,
I can see the vision and the decision.
yeah, definitely. It is. Yeah, it's funny that because he was going to get rid of the other 2. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Chrissy wanted Rizzo gone.
yeah. I mean, I guess you just have to throw it at someone, and you probably didn't want to get rid of Aubrey or Rick because they're from 30s or something. Just wanted to
I
get rid
heard
of.
her reasoning was um she must have heard from someone who heard from Savannah about how Rizzo kept the idol the whole time in 49.
True.
And yeah, I don't know. Maybe she was trying to flush the idol. Maybe she knew
The
well,
game you
that
played.
the plan was going to be Rick and Aubrey, even though it wasn't. But
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
yeah. Come at my king, you bet not miss.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah.
um, yeah, I guess she. Yeah, it's a shame we didn't see how much information that these guys knew about 49. Like,
Yeah,
I wish they kind of told us everything so that
yeah, I
we
would have
could have
loved to
like,
see those conversations.
yeah, um, because we saw Savannah get grilled, but are we to assume as the audience that now they know everything about the season, or
Yeah, it sounds like they do, to be honest.
yeah, or
Which is,
and
yeah,
now that someone's referencing it, it should be, but
yeah,
I don't think it's like glaringly obvious to the like passive viewer. But hey, uh, she tried and it didn't work. He still got his
yeah,
idol.
yeah, exactly.
So,
Far out.
still told Emily though that he'd play it if they needed to.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tribal was pretty cut and dry. I think it's considered. Even do you think the idol play swayed anyone?
Um,
We finally saw it.
I think it did, but I think the plan was always going to be Coach and Chrissy. The
Yeah,
idol play definitely spooked people, and I think if the plan was going to be Rick and Aubrey, I think it could have been swayed.
yeah.
So I
He,
think people definitely believed it was a real idol. I don't know if they still will, since he didn't play anything.
yeah.
Um,
There'd be
I liked that
suspicion.
Stephanie, yeah, I like that Stephanie asked him if she could see it.
Yeah. And then his response being knowledge is power. Why would I
His
do that?
response was really good. He was put on the spot right there, and he had an answer to it. He's like, I don't you don't need to know what it looks like. And I think that was you can that's a good answer.
That is a
It's
good answer.
believable.
Yeah, especially like when it's fake
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you know that you can't show it to them. So yeah, you've got to drum up that they don't need all the information. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought his mic drop was good. Knowledge is power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sit
Did you like
down.
Rizzo going up to Rick and fanboying him?
Yeah, I thought
It was so funny.
it was funny. Yeah, yeah, that's like a TV moment, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
6 idols he has now, even though it's only 5. I didn't. I forgot he found so many on the. Oh, but they think that Rick found Christian's idol, so they counting the boomerang idol that they think is a
I
Rick
don't
idol.
know.
Yeah,
I
I don't
think
know. I don't
at
know
that
my
moment they
astrology,
didn't
man.
put too much thought into it.
No.
It was just kind of a panic moment. Do you
Yeah.
like when Aubrey said, "I'm gonna quote War Dog," and everyone else just kind of like groaned? That was so
Yeah.
funny. It was like, "Oh God." I think
Yeah.
Rizzo and Rick were too. They were like, "Oh God." That cracked me up so much. That was one of my favorite moments of this episode.
Yeah. There was another groan this tribal when Emily was um eye rolling, coach leaving.
Oh yeah,
But
that's right. Yeah,
yeah, what was Wardog's quote? Do you know?
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear it because I was too busy laughing at everyone's reactions.
I think the
Yeah.
gist of it was that we can't like you can't be mad at the game because we all signed up to play this game. Like you can't be mad at the twists
Hmm.
because you all playing twists, which you know is arguable.
Yeah, very arguable.
Genevieve
This
will
twist
definitely.
though,
This
there's no
twist is
luck
cool.
involved in this twist, so you can't really be
Exactly.
mad at it.
So is that what new twists need? No luck.
Yeah, well, it's work. It's that seems to be the solution so far. Last twist we have that we didn't like, heavily luck involved. Last twist we have that we did like, no luck involved.
That's true.
So yeah, I think there can be luck in Survivor, but it needs to be something that people know about in advance. I think that's how it would work the best. Luck is fine when you know about it in advance, like shot in the darks and things like that. Everyone knows how they work from the get-go. But in
Mm.
terms of twists where you can't prepare for the luck, then it doesn't really work. It's just kind of screws people over.
Yeah, but it's being swap screwed as part of Survivor though.
I know, but it's not very fun. It's not
Yeah,
very fun to watch someone just get swapped into a new tribe and then screwed over
but then
when there's nothing they could have done.
how do you make the
But
early
yeah,
game
that's the thing.
entertaining, right?
Well, if they were told beforehand, you're gonna swap at this number,
Then you can
I know
prepare
it's
for
not
it.
very exciting as a viewer, but we don't have to know that. Um, then that could make it better because you can plan ahead. You can be like, okay, if I get bad luck, then this is what I'll do, kind of thing.
Yeah. Will hopefully promote like cross tribal talking, which we didn't see as prevalent as like you were mentioning in the Australian Survivor season.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we got a little bit on journeys, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Any other thoughts
Anyway,
about tribal?
well, the very last thing we have at Tribal before they vote is a coach quote, and
Yeah.
it's I can't remember what the quote was exactly, but I noticed that it was the same quote that we got in both the trailer for the season and the intro shot to the season.
Yeah.
So
That ended the montage of the first episode. That quote, the
yes,
Marjolin, I think, was the
yep,
Marjolin.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the quote, but
I don't remember it either. I should have written it down, but
yeah,
not too fast.
not too fast either. I think
Yeah.
it was about like being brave enough to walk through like tides to get the job done, or something like that.
Mm,
That's probably
that
me
would be
butchering
something the Tidewalker says.
it.
So yeah.
True to form until the last moment. What are your thoughts on Chrissy going out first and then Coach going out second?
Um, I mean, didn't really think too much of it. Bit strange, but I guess they knew that Coach's elimination would be more of a big deal.
Yeah,
So I guess it didn't really matter in terms of like placements or results or anything like that. But
no,
yeah.
they
I
both.
liked Dee's reaction as soon as it became obvious that Coach and Chrissy were the ones going. She looked very happy, and then you could see like she thought about it for a bit, and then she looked a bit annoyed because she realized that she was just going to be in Ponderosa with them,
Yeah, yeah,
which cracked me up.
yeah. Vindicated that that person who got you out of the game is now out of the game, and then
Yeah,
realization that they now coming to live with you
I know you're gonna have to hang out with them until someone else comes.
at least another day or two. Yeah.
Yeah.
She also had a very strong reaction when she found out that it was the double duo.
Yes, I mean,
Yeah.
I
Who
think everyone, I
wouldn't?
think no one's had a not strong reaction to that, right? It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
actually a big twist, so
Yeah. It is an action.
yeah.
Yeah. We could see this for seasons to come. It's quite cool.
Yep, exactly.
A lot of
Um,
importance. There'd be way more fighting to be that middle person
yeah,
if it
yeah.
continues to happen. But yeah,
Coach played a shot in the dark.
I thought it was smart given the
Oh, definitely.
circumstances
Yeah.
and
I
the
mean,
fact that
obviously it
it's a
didn't
double.
pay out, but far out.
They should have both done it.
What would happen if that hit? There would have
Aubrey
been a
and
revote,
Rick. Yeah.
and then you reckon Aubrey would have gone? I think reckon Aubrey would have gone.
Rick and Aubrey over Rizzo and Emily, right?
Yeah.
Should we game that out? Sari wouldn't vote for Rizzo, so she would vote there. So same with Aussie. That's 2 on Rick. Stephanie
Yeah.
would go for Rick because that's who they wanted in the first place.
Well, I think the only people that would vote for Emily
Rizzo.
and Rizzo would be Aubrey, Rick, and Christian, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like everyone else would have voted for Rick and Aubrey, so yeah, they would have gone.
Yeah. Man, that would have changed so much
Oh yeah.
because
That
then
would have been huge. I
if
would have loved that.
yeah, I would yeah,
That would have been
that,
such good TV.
that would have changed the season. Yeah, I'm sure we're still going to get some great TV from the, the couple of trios that are coming up colliding against each other, but
Yeah.
we'll see. Who knows? Sari might jump back to the
Yeah.
4 and be back in with the 4 and go to the end with Devons and Christian.
I don't think so. I think
That
she's
would be
got something
crazy.
good going with the other two.
Yeah, yeah, nah, yeah. One
Yeah.
can dream.
It's interesting how all episode Coach refers to Rick and Christian and Emily and Aubrey as the middle people. But I feel like the middle people are actually Rizzo, Suri, and Ozzy. I feel like those are the actual middle people.
Yeah,
And the Christian, Rick, Aubrey, Emily are just the people on the opposite side.
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They they are the opposite side, but I guess yeah, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. The middle people are Sari and Ozzy, the people that they're bringing into their fold.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
Any way you want
coach
to
is gone
phrase
now,
it,
so it doesn't
yeah.
really matter
No,
what he thinks now.
yeah. Yeah. Is it possible to us to understand where the middle is,
Yeah.
really? We don't know
Yeah.
everyone's hierarchy of everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any final things you want to say about Coach and Chrissy?
I don't think so. I think they had a good exit. Neither of them was really screwed by that
Nah.
twist. They were, I feel like, targeted. I feel like they were more targeted because of Coach, but they were definitely targeted because of Chrissy as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. The mum and dad, as they got called, didn't like Chrissy's bossiness
yeah,
and didn't like
exactly, yeah.
Coach's haikus.
Oh
I would
man.
love to know. Hopefully, on these exit interviews, we can hear about how um, long he would talk to camera by himself.
Yeah,
That would be really interesting to hear.
yeah.
Yeah, I've um,
Oh,
I've placed our predictions for our favorite player where it's been for the last few weeks at Surrey.
sorry, yep. I think
But
yeah, I
is
mean
that is
that's
that
our best position selection right now. Surrey is just in the best position.
yeah? She's just aligned with so many people. Everyone seems to love her, and she's the only one that knows all the advantages. Well, she's not the only one that knows all the advantages because she's told other people, but her
Yeah,
alliance knows everything, and she's holding the secret extra vote, and
yep,
she's
exactly.
worked her way out. She's worked her way out of Exile Island now, which is like another tick of her resume. The only thing going for her is that she's building such a big bad game. But
Yeah. I mean, she's always going to be a target, so she might
yeah,
as well just play hard.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not going
yeah.
to hurt her. But yeah.
It's going good.
How do we reckon the voting's going to go next?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I've kind of put them into sort of sections here, but I I don't know. Obviously, Sari, Ozzy, and Rizzo are going to stick together. Is that obvious? Do you
I
think
think
Rizzo
it's
would either?
obvious.
It is
I think they're going to
obvious.
stick together. I mean, Rizzo is very well known for last season to not turn on his alliance. He's
Yeah,
very loyal,
yeah.
so I don't think he'll flip. Um, I think it's going to be a sort of 4v4 with that three in the middle. I can see Tiff sticking with Joe and Joe sticking with Stephanie and Jonathan.
You think Steph's going to stick with Jonathan and Joe?
I think so. And I think Suri, Ozzy, and Rizzo are going to stay with those four as well. And they're going to target someone on the other side, like Aubrey or Rick or Emily or Christian.
So it's a 4v4v3, really.
Yeah. But that three is going to be in the middle because they're closer with each of those four than the four are with each other.
Right. Yeah, especially with Aubrey and Tiff and Devons and Sari, really.
I don't think Aubrey and Tiff are really working together now.
No.
So I don't think that's really a bond.
Oh, so you're saying Sari, Ozzy, and Thing in the middle?
Yeah.
Ah, I get you. Man, the middle. Rizzo gets what he wanted.
Yep. I don't want them to be the middle people. I want to be the middle people.
Yeah.
And look where he is. Well,
Look where he
this is
is.
all assumptions, but
Yeah.
yeah. Well, who do you
Okay.
think's going to be the boot?
Ooh, who do I think is going to be the boot? It's really a question of where do you think Sari and Ozzy and Rizzo are going to go? I think they're not going to want to get rid of Stephanie. I don't think they're going to want to get rid of Devons. I could see Jonathan going, maybe Emily, maybe Aubrey, because they've just been talking about Aubrey for so long. I think I'll go Aubrey.
I think I'm going to go Aubrey as well. I can see Suri
Nice.
being the one to drive the vote. I think that four are going to bring in Suri, Ozzy, and Rizzo, and Suri's going to be like, "Yeah, I'll vote with you, but I'm deciding who's going." And she's obviously closest with Christian, Rick, and Emily, so she's going to be like, "I want Aubrey gone,"
Yeah.
because she doesn't have any ties to Aubrey. So I can see that happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Here it is. You heard it here
Yeah. You
first.
heard it here first. They're going. She's
Aubrey's
going next
gone.
week. Yeah. Catch you up.
Catch it up. All right.
We,
Anything else?
well, we, just in support of that, we did get the quote being like, I'm played 4 times and I'm still underestimated, which is kind of
Yeah.
like a boot before the boot kind of sentence to say.
I wouldn't say she's underestimated. I'd
Nah,
say she's just
I think she's,
estimated.
yeah, I think she's
I think
become, yeah,
I think
pretty,
she hasn't really played that much.
and a little bit she made an enemy of someone, which just like spiraled into a whole tribe not liking her. So now she's in with the other kind of nerd alliance, and it's obvious and it's growing. So they're going to want to
Maybe
cut
she
that
won't
down.
get voted out. Maybe she's just going to be brought to the end as a goat. Because I can't see her winning. Like, I feel like she's the most obvious out of everyone there that if she gets to the end, she's not going to get votes. Unless, obviously, there's still a lot of game left, so she still could make moves. But she's like, I feel like she's the one, the main person left that hasn't done anything at all the entire game.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, I feel like everyone else has done something. They've played a bit and actually made some good moves, but yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Emily's
who knows?
made
There's
waves
still
with
a lot of
Aussie.
time,
Yeah, there is
a lot
still
of
a lot of time.
episodes.
I wonder if there's a three where 3 people from each one of like one person from each of these trios that we've made up is going to win. I don't know.
Don't know.
We'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see. Well, for next week, we are also we still didn't get Mr. Beast this episode, and
I know.
it
If he
annoys
comes,
me to no end. I just want it to be done.
we do see in the trailer for next week that Jeff is going to be doing a challenge with them.
Yeah,
So
I'm excited for that.
yeah, I think we got the wider shot where we see that they're doing the same challenge at the same time that he's doing the challenge. So maybe it's more
If you
rice or something
outlast
like
me,
that.
you get
Yeah,
Applebee's.
yeah. We really need to drive home the sponsorship.
Oh man. Oh.
One final thing I just want to ask is as there's 3 Carlo people making the jury so far, do you think that has any ramifications going into next vote, just on either Jonathan or Tiffany getting voted out?
Nah, I don't think so. I think people aren't really.
Look until Trouble Lines
Yeah, and I mean the original tribes as well, I feel like have
with 2
such
votes.
little to do with anything given how short of a time that they were a thing for. They were only a thing for 2 episodes, those first tribes. So I feel like if anything, the second tribes are the main tribes.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
We'll
I guess they
see.
were out there for longer at the start before they voted, so who
Yeah.
knows?
I wonder, like original promises, does that mean more than secondary promises now that everyone's back together? I think it's just interesting. I mean, we're not going to see until next week, and either Jonathan's going to get voted out, and they bring up that they're close with each other, Devon's and Suri or something like that. But yeah, it's probably not. It's probably all merged now.
Yeah. I think it is a very individual game now. I think those original tribes don't really matter too much,
Okay.
apart from some of the alliances that have come out of those. But yeah,
Well, in the cropping of the video, I'll get rid of the the borders that have the
all right.
original lines,
Yeah,
so that I can psychologically psych myself up to look at it a bit as a, like not so balanced.
yeah. All right.
Nah, cool,
Okay, cool.
sweet.
Um, awesome. I guess we'll see you next week for episode 9.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, you take care.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Bye.